Sorry, I'm just trying to get some lube out of here. On this episode of American Detour, we're going back to my 1994 Chevy C1500 that we were doing a 4.3 to 5.7 swap. But not only that, we were turning it into a 12-second drag truck. And so we are doing it right. We are not half-assing anything. So if you want to learn how to build a cheap budget drag truck, this is the way to do it. So I bought this truck when I was about 14 or 15. When I bought it, I needed to restore it. I mean, it was pretty messy. It had rust on the cab corners. The motor didn't start. Transmission was bad. Brakes were bad. All the brake lines were bad. Fuel lines were bad. Pump was bad. The truck had a lot of issues. And so I restored it. And me and my dad did a pretty dang good job. And then here about a year ago, I wanted to body swap this body onto my K2500. Decided against it. And here we are. We're finishing the initial, what we wanted to do from the get-go, which was build a budget drag truck. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. So I bought this truck for $200. I restored it for a general price of around $2,000. And now we're gonna build a budget engine and everything else budget as well, but do it right. And all the prices will be broken down later in the episode. But what we're gonna be doing is starting the building the engine, tearing the truck apart, fixing some rust in the floorboards, getting ourselves ready, building it up, building track bars, lowering it. We're gonna be doing a C-notch on it and slamming this thing on the freaking ground. But the first thing we need to do is take the fenders off, the hood off, the whole front end of the truck off, and then go about actually painting the firewall, turn the interior out, build the motor, things like that. So stage one of building a truck correctly, or just doing it, halfway decently, unlike the 89, painted the firewall up, and it looks way better than I thought it would. And we're gonna take the whole front clip off this truck because that way we have access to everything and we don't mess up the good paint on this fender, and we don't dent up the paint, we don't dent up the fender that does need paint still. I just got back the engine that we blew up in the 89, fully machined, and looking very nice and pretty. And we found out what the issue was with the connecting rods. Leslie, would you like to give a slight explanation?
Way out of round.
Way out of round and like almost sideways. That's why they were wearing so wrong. So we're gonna put that in this truck for now. And then also I'm gonna buy aluminum Vortec heads for it. No longer these non-Vortec heads, these are TPI heads and they're absolutely worthless. And so after we do that, we're also gonna put a massive cam in it. We're gonna put a carburetor on it because one, I also cut the wires on this, so it's just gonna be pretty much wiring. We have headlight wiring harness, and we're just not gonna need any wiring if we use a carburetor and all that good stuff. Start tearing crap off of here. Jesus. White trash.
So we're about to use a Sawzall to actually prevent doing a hack job.
This is new for me, it's new territory.
Whatever, I'm not in charge.
Shucking and jiving. What is that bolted to? Oh, there's one more bolted.
There. Who put that there?
That'd be me.
Do you need assistance?
Smooth. Actually, you cut enough, anything comes off.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that ground needs to be unbolted.
I keep forgetting the antenna's still on it. Alright, after hours of cutting and hammering at this bitch, it's finally off, it looks like.
Fell off.
Come on, He-Man.
Oh shit, there's a grill there. I'll sit outside for now. Okay. Now that we've got the truck torn down about where we want it to be, we're ready to start building the engine again. And this time we're gonna do it right, unlike last time. So I'm going to start soaking all of our pistons in oil. I'm gonna leave this one in for a while because I mean, shoot, we still got to throw the crank in. I got some plastic gauge for that, just so we can double check our clearances, make sure they're good. I got 10 thousandths under bearings for the mains and the connecting rods. Just got those this morning. I got it from machine shop and everything. They should be all good to go, but I want to double check everything. You never want to trust what somebody tells you. So I'm about to take off all of our main caps, y'all, and then completely clean out all these journals, clean them really nice and good. I'm gonna put the bearings in there first, then drop the crankshaft in here and start measuring our clearances to make sure they're within tolerance. I have to look up the clearances. Last time I put the plastic gauge underneath the crank for some reason. I shouldn't have done that, should have just put it along the top. And then we're gonna do the same with our connecting rods as well and measure those clearances, make sure those are within tolerance. We just had a mini heart attack a second ago. We checked all the clearances on the engine, and the center three were at 0.0015, but the outer two were at 0.002. And we thought that was way out of clearance, way out of tolerance and such. And but we looked it up. Turns out that's not out of tolerance. And even if it was, that's not terrible. That's not too horribly far out. And so we're gonna continue putting it back together. Got red Kentucky. I have to mix this with oil. Yeah, we're using that crap so like if we use oil or something, it'll just run down off the bearings and such. You don't want to run it off. When you start it, then you're gonna be dry starting it. If you were to dry start it, you could possibly spin a bearing and just do a lot of damage. So I'm gonna reseat these bearings again just to be totally sure.
Goopy. Put that cherry cream on there.
That does like cherry cream, don't it? It's so bad. It smells so bad. Sorry, I'm just trying to get some lube out of here.
Oh, you dropped some.
Make sure I'm not gonna drop it all over myself. Oh my god. Oh my god, this stuff is slick. Don't see a damn thing.
Spit it out, I'm waiting. Don't leave me contemplating my own life. Save the bullshit for another man or lover. Don't need.
So I'm waiting on piston rings for the motor because I went to Napa and all the good old guys that usually work at Napa aren't there anymore, and they couldn't measure my rings, and I've got low compression ring or head piston tops, and you have to measure the rings. Like the rings aren't in a computer, like in the book. And so I have to measure them myself and bring them in and be like, I need this size right here. So we can't really do a whole lot more with this. I did measure the end plate, it is good. And so I'm just pretty much gonna wait and hold off on the motor for now. But the next thing that we have to do is I have to take the interior out because one, we're gonna be putting in new seats and pretty much a new interior in general. And also there's two small rust holes that I know of underneath the rubber mat. Not big, they're only about like that big, but I want to fix it because I'm trying to do this right. Like I'm trying to do everything right, do it good, do it to the best of my abilities. And so I'm gonna fix everything that I find that is not good. I also know I have some wiring back here I need to clean up from like an old subwoofer I used to have back here. So it's pretty much fixing some stupid stuff I did in the past. The next thing to do is take out this disgusting rubber mat, find the rustles under here. I know that there's two over here. Hopefully there's not many more over there. I hope not, because I only bought two small sheets of sheet metal. Long story short, let's take it out here, booger these new pieces in there. And oh yeah, that rust has gotten worse. All right, perfect. There we go. Years back, I had the rubber mat out of here because I was doing, not out of here, only this part was folded up because I was rerouting some speaker wire. And I put in these tar panel things to cover up the rust holes. And I knew at some point down the road I would regret it. We need to stop more moisture from getting in here. So there's a good sized rust hole. There's our bad one right there. And when you're doing this, don't be light. I mean, you need to find where there's bad metal. Oh gosh. Holy crap, I just found one of my knives. That's bad right there. So from this body sealer, from about right here over to about right here is bad. And from here to here is bad. So you cut all that out. All right, right there I started to get it.
It started off pretty good.
Right here I got it decent. Well, I had to re-weld all this. That's not the best. Yeah, that was all a massive gap too. So I mean, this isn't my best work, but well, because I had this like stuck right here. Yeah, so we got it welded up pretty good last night, and I went about grinding some of the welds down. And yes, I know my welds are absolutely terrible. I'm a very bad welder. But it's not fully finished. I have to go through and re-weld quite a bit of it. So I'm gonna put a light underneath so that I can see all the holes that I need to fill in, and then get some more grinding wheels and continue grinding this down. But my weld where I connected the two pieces is really, really nice. I'm proud of that one. That looks really good. But unfortunately, no one's ever gonna see this unless you're underneath the truck staring at it, which from the underneath it probably looks the worst, but that's all right. We'll figure it out. So I'm gonna keep welding on this and then grind her down later and then paint it, because a grinder and paint makes me the welder I ain't. That is extremely freaking true right now, because these welds are ugly.
Winterland, tell me all your secrets.
Okay, before we end the episode, I wanted to update you guys on parts that we bought for this truck. We decided to go all out and build a very competitive drag truck. So first thing I went and bought was a Comp Cam's 292 hydraulic flat tappet cam. Now that has a lift of 0.501, duration of 292, and it's a massive camshaft. Look that up on YouTube and you will hear some choppy freaking trucks. Now the next thing we got is a kit from Jags. It's called the Speedmaster Super Street Series Top End Engine Combo Kit. Small block Chevy 350 in case you guys want to buy that. That has aluminum heads, aluminum intake, these awesome adjustable rocker arms, and it has these beautiful chrome valve covers. So the heads can take a max lift of 0.580 inches. Let's see here. Intake runner volume CC is 190, which is a massive step up from what was in that. Another Vortec intake CC was like 170, and I know that those TPI heads are worse, so I don't even know what those would be at. But it's all aluminum, and it's an awesome kit, and I cannot wait to get it on there. And then also I got high compression Summit Racing piston top heads. So with a little bit of bench racing and thinking, our thoughts on how much this motor is going to make is we're expecting somewhere around 415 to 425 horsepower. If that's true, not the crank we mean, if that's true, and after we break it in and everything and get good and broken in, like 800 miles on it, we will put like a 50 to 75 shot of nitrous on it for now to stay safe, get an idea of what it's making, and then maybe up it some more. Not 100% sure. So we decided we were gonna go all out and build an actual drag truck and not mess around this time. So we're being very serious this time. We're not messing around. It is time to actually build something that will be used, actually raced, and have some fun with it and make more videos. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it, guys. You are awesome. Y'all have a good one. Take it easy.